What's up, Copy Squad? It's your boy Kyle Milligan coming to you live from the Meditation Chamber in Boca Raton, Florida. And today I want to talk about a two-step bullet point template for copywriters. And this question comes from an email I received just a little while ago, actually, which is very timely because I was looking for some content for today's live. So I'm basically going to show you a couple examples of how different writers and different industries, niches, and sales letters present bullet points, and how it can basically all be boiled down to just two simple steps. Now, one of the letters that I will be using will be my own, and that letter is from my book called Take Their Money. And basically, the whole sales letter that I wrote is based on bullet points, and it just sells a copywriting book. So that's a book selling. Another one that we're going to look at is another book selling, and then most of the time books are the topic of sales for for bullet point promos. Usually you're offering a whole slew of secrets, and it's very easy to package secrets into one tiny little bulleted point. And it's also good for selling maybe courses and stuff, because a book is sort of like a course smushed into a bunch of pages that you can flip to and read forever. So kind of use that for whatever niche that you're working inside of. If you want to see me personally writing bullets, I'm going to make an offer now that we'll talk about later. But basically I have a whole 6-hour video series that'll show you how I wrote my entire sales letter for the book, Take Their Money. That sales letter is at kylethewriter.com/book. But if you're interested in seeing how I wrote it, how I came up with all those bullets, you can go to kylethewriter.com/process. There's a 60% off sale on that product until May 18th, and then that's over. All right, so let's jump into some examples really quick. I'm gonna pull them up, and then we'll look at how you write bullets very quickly and easily. So we'll start with my main man, Frank Kern. Funny enough, reading this sales letter for Frank Kern, this is for his book at frankkernbook.com. It's for Convert 2.0. Reading this might have been what started the whole process of me going live every day. I read this sales letter, I picked up his book, Convert 2.0, and next thing I know, I'm going live every day and selling my own book. So Frank is kind of the model for how I base a lot of my decisions, right? He's kind of gone there and done that and proven it's a viable track, and it's worked well for me so far. That's something I definitely, I insist upon when it comes to copywriting and learning this skill is we don't just read a bunch of theory about copywriting and try to employ it. No, we try to reverse engineer what's already working. You see all these tabs at the top of my browser? These are all sales letters. I just basically sit around, I read sales letters, I pick out my favorite parts, I mark them up with my little digital pen, and that's it. You'll see right here beside it, I got Frank Kern's letter already opened and marked up. That's kind of what I do. I sit around and mark up promos, and that's what I talk about when I say don't read about copy, read copy. Okay, so let's look at some of Frank Kern's bullets right quick, and I'll talk about basically the two-step template, the two-step bullet writing template for copywriters. Okay, so I'm just going to scroll here. Let's do this one. Here's one. The 2 things you can do immediately to increase sales and revenue without spending money on more traffic, and without sending more emails to your list. Okay, so basically when it comes to writing bullets, there's 2 things you got to do. The first thing is you got to make your prospect ask how. That says how, believe it or not. Okay, so how, there it is. Okay, cool. You want your person to scratch their head and wonder how. How can you do something like that? So notice when you're writing a bullet, you're not telling them what to do, and you're not telling them how to do it. They have to wonder how. So if you want them to wonder how, you can't give away, I don't know, the secret or something like that. There's probably an expression or idiom that I can't remember right now, but you can't give away the thing that you're trying to get them to say how about. So instead, you take the idea, the things, right? And he says right here, the 2 things you can do immediately to increase sales and revenue without spending money on traffic, without sending more emails to your list. Okay? So then the second thing you got to do is make it weirdly specific. All right? It can't, if you just get them wondering how, right? That's basically, you got to make a claim. Okay? So you're making a claim, and then the weirdly specific element of it serves as its own sort of proof, right? Because what you're doing is you're showing this is actually, you're giving specificity to it, you're making it concrete and 3-dimensional so that it seems more real, okay? So if I just tell you, I've got 2 things to immediately increase your sales and revenue, that doesn't really make you wonder how, because it's not really making like a really specific claim that I can really believe or even imagine in my brain, right? But as soon as I tell you, like, increase your sales and revenue, like, you'll first jump to a million conclusions. Well, what he's done here is he simply just listed your most common objections, right, or the biggest hurdles, and these are specific. So he's just listed objections and hurdles, and it's very easy to do. You just list the benefit, right? So this is two things. He gave you two things. This is a bullet about two things with a benefit, and it's so plain Jane and simple. But then, to make it more specific and believable, he just simply drops this without objections. Okay, I should have probably moved that here. But yeah, so basically, I've got this thing. It's got benefits. Cool. So what? But it's without doing this or that. So now you're kind of wondering, okay, how do you do that? Because usually you have to do spending more money on traffic or sending more emails to my list. So how, right? And the weird specificity makes it more concrete. Let's just scroll down. Let's see. Think that more sales is the first step to more profits. Think again. Discover the single biggest factor in increasing the money in your pocket, even if your sales stay the same. That one seems a little almost too obvious. It feels like increasing the price, right? Doesn't it just seem like increasing the price? But here I am, kind of wondering how. How, if your sales stay the same, can one thing? Notice he doesn't tell you what it is. He doesn't say increase price, increase the price to increase the money in your pocket. No, he tells you the single biggest factor. Just like up here was the two things. He doesn't tell you what it is. He just tells you there's a thing that gives you this benefit. Okay, and again, that's all good and well, and no one cares, and no one's wondering how until you make it weirdly specific. And I think I put the word weirdly in there, and I do that like on purpose, because if it's just like specific itself is helpful, but it has to be weirdly specific. So like you can increase the money even if your sales stay the same. Okay, that's kind of weird. Like, okay, how? That's weirdly specific. Like, it's kind of almost like a riddle, right? This is kind of like a cyclical sort of riddle where you're wondering how, and the specificity is what made you wonder how, but it's got to have a benefit inherent in this that you'll actually wonder. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. We'll scroll on to this. This here is Rich Dad's Retirement Masterclass. I worked on this promo. I'm not sure if, let's see. I really like this bullet. Did you know you can indirectly collect cash payouts from private companies like LA Fitness, 7-Eleven, and even Chick-fil-A like clockwork? Private companies only pay dividends to their rich private owners, but I'll show you how you can indirectly cash in using a specific public investment. That means you don't have to be an accredited investor to collect. 50-year-old Jeff Stevens collects $3,733 per month. Jeff collects more than most as an insider, but the best part of the strategy is you're in control of how much you collect. The more you put in, the more you stand to receive. All right, so here's this is a bullet I wrote for Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Retirement Masterclass. We're on page 6. I'll show you the headline really quick if you haven't seen me talk about this promo before. This is my promo from, like I say, Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad's Retirement Masterclass. We sell this at Agora Financial. Okay, so the bullet. The reason that this one gets you is because of this right here. Private companies. Private companies only pay dividends to rich private owners. So dividend stocks pay dividends to public owners, right? You can buy a stock of Microsoft, right? You can buy a stock of Microsoft and they'll pay you a dividend. But those companies, Microsoft is publicly listed. So I got to get you wondering how. And I got to be weirdly specific so that you can see that this is a real thing. All right. So how can you collect money from a private company, right? That in itself, yeah, right. Like bull malarkey. I don't believe you can't collect. You can't collect dividends from private companies. I'll show you how you can indirectly cash in using a specific public investment. Okay, so we're just giving you a little bit of details there, right? Giving you a little bit of details. That means you don't have to be an accredited investor. So that's one of the hurdles. That's an objection. That's one of those hurdles, like we just looked at with Frank Kern, that keeps people out. Oh, well, how do I do it if I'm not an accredited investor? So now I tell you, hey, there's a guy already doing this. This is a little bit of proof, but we're just layering on the specificity, all right? So that's a bullet that I wrote. This is a Kyle bullet. And yeah, so these are all set up like bullets. Like this looks like a headline or a subhead. Yeah, I mean a subhead, yeah. Take a look at this fancy resort in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Only the rich can afford to stay at places like this, but I'll show you how you can position yourself to join their special mailing list, all right? So you got like a mechanism there. I don't tell you what the thing is, right? I don't tell you what, I'll show you how you can do it using this investment, right? So let me just get rid of all this mess. I don't tell you what the investment is. I don't say use this investment to do it. I'd say I can show you with a secret thing, right? That's the trick to writing a good bullet, is I don't tell you exactly what it is. I'll show you how you can position yourself using a mailing list. Receive monthly investment payouts. So there's the benefit. Worth hundreds of thousands, even if you've never been there before. Checks go out regularly. I can show you how to get in front of the next one. Boom. Okay, so just give you a little bit of specificity. Checks go out regularly, and you don't have to live there or something like that. Just give it a little bit of substance. Give it some 3 dimensions, okay? So that's some bullets from my promo Rich Dad's Retirement Masterclass, okay? Now, let me check really quick. See if we've got any comments or questions on these bullets. Bullets. Nope, nothing yet. All right, we're going to wrap up here in just a second. We're at 11 minutes. I think I want to show you my last example will be off of my sales letter from Take Their Money. So let me just make sure that I'm not in the way. Okay, Take Their Money. Here's a bullet I wrote from my copywriting book. So we've seen a couple examples. The first one we saw was Frank Kern selling his Convert 2.0, which is an internet marketing book. Okay, the second one, we saw me selling Rich Dad's Retirement Masterclass, which is like a financial product. Like we're basically going to show you how to have like a better, more lucrative retirement. Okay, so 2 different niches. This example of a bullet is selling a copywriting instruction book. All right, so it's my book, Take Their Money, which you can find at kylethewriter.com/book. Now, I want to say something before we begin. I actually have a product that shows you me writing this sales letter from start to finish. And this product, this $12 book of mine, there it is, Take Their Money, this $12 book of mine has helped me bring in multiple 4 figures. I still need to do the calculations, but we're definitely over the $5,000 mark. And it's a $12 book, right? So this just shows you, like I saw someone comment that, wow, your product's expensive. Bro, if you can make thousands of dollars with a $12 book sales letter, like, come on, man, like, you just don't know the power of copy if you're saying stuff like that. That's all there is to it. So anyway, okay, so this is the bullet I wrote. Remember to mention this one magic number in your offer. Okay, so I can't mark on this. This isn't a PDF. Okay, so remember to mention this one magic number in your offer. So what we have right here is like a mechanism, right? So what is the thing? How do I do that? And you could make an extra $6 million a year. Okay, so $6 million a year is my specificity, and then I go a little bit further. I dive into it with some actual like case study. So many marketers never think to mention this powerful, emotionally charged number. Ignore this magic number in your pitch, and you could be leaving millions on the table. I've seen pro marketers add this magic number into their offer, and their conversion has soared by an incredible 332%. It's like going from 100 sales to 432. Stretch that out, that'll be an extra $121,000 or 121,000 sales in a year. If your product's only $50, those new sales add up to $6 million a year. Discover this magic number and why it works so well on page 132 at Take Their Money. So again, I just kind of gave you the benefit. I dressed up the mechanism so you wondered how. Remember to mention this one mechanism in your offer, and you can make an extra $6 million a year. And I brought a case study to the table. Now again, I've got a actual product for this that basically shows you how I wrote the bullets for this sales letter. And again, the sales letter has brought me thousands of dollars at this point now. So if you're interested in learning how to write one of these sales letters, and again, my book was $12. There's an order bump and $12 book, and it's brought thousands of dollars. And so how can you argue, I don't know, how can you argue that anything that's anything less than thousands of dollars is too expensive? It doesn't make any sense. You obviously don't understand copy. So anyway, the process. This is my product. It's called The Process, a draft-by-draft copywriting walkthrough. It's available at kylethewriter.com/process. Right now, I got 60% off the full price. Betas only. So this is only going to go through May 18th. So 3 days are down. Actually, that's not correct anymore. 4 days down. That means time is running out. The clock is ticking. This offer will permanently close May 18th. It's shutting in the cart. No new customers at this price. I did want to add one other thing. Consider this. It costs $300 for 30 minutes of consult with me. So this is the base rate that I charge when someone says, hey, I've got some copy. Will you review it? Yes, I will review it. I will sit down and we'll go on a Zoom call together and we'll talk it over. And it will take $300 for 30 minutes of copy review. Again, if you understand the compounding power of copy, my last sales letter didn't break $500,000, and I was extremely disappointed with that. You got to understand that the sales letter, if you can write a sales letter, you can make a lot of money, right? So if you don't understand that, then you probably shouldn't have the product, right? Because you're probably not at that level where this will help you at all anyway. So anyway, it costs $300 for 30 minutes consult with me. So my product, which shows you how I wrote an entire sales letter, comes with 6 hours of base content plus 2.5 hours in bonuses. That's 8.5 hours of basically virtually shadowing me do the thing. Like I said, makes hundreds of thousands of dollars per sales letter. All right, so then 17, that equals 17 sessions, right? 8.5 hours is 17 30-minute sessions. That would cost $5,100 if you were to schedule 17 30-minute sessions with me. But you can get it for a fraction of that cost right now at kylethewriter.com/process. Okay, so check it out. If you're interested in learning how I write these sales letters, how I put together bullets, how I do the research, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars wrapped up in the skill set. That's why I say people who think copywriting isn't a professional language, they don't treat copywriting like a professional skill set, you don't deserve the money. That's all there is to it. If you won't, there are people who go to school to become an accountant. They take exams. They take the CPA exam. They get a master's degree. There are people who go to school to become a lawyer. They take the bar exam. They study for the LSAT. They do all this time and investment. They don't make as much as one sales letter does in a month. In a month, a single sales letter can make more than their yearly salary. And for whatever reason, people don't treat copywriting with the respect it deserves. And they think they should read one book and become, independent, a digital nomad or something like that. And it's not the case, man. You got to have immersion into the study of the language of copywriting. And if you treat it with that respect, people go to college and drop. I came out of college with approximately $60,000 worth of debt for a degree that I don't use. You can spare a couple bucks to get a video series that teaches you a skill set that can generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in a month's time. And come on, guys. That's all I got for the naysayers out there who are objecting on that ground. And if that's what you're thinking, it's the same thing. You gotta understand the compounding power. You write one letter and it makes that much money. But what if you write two? What if you because those skills don't just disappear. You have them for life. You write 3 letters. You write 4 letters, you're set. All right? So again, if you want to check that product out, it is out and available at kylethewriter.com/process. It's called The Process, Draft by Draft Copywriting Walkthrough, 60% off the full price for this beta version only. 4 days already down, all right? So that closes May 18th. Please do check it out. Let me know if you have any other questions, any other videos I can go over for you, anything like that. That's all I've got for today. Let me bring it back up. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you found this useful. Peace out. Copy Squad.